Welcome back to the Black Witch Podcast. It is your girl Marquisia. As always, I am super excited to be here, and I hope that y'all are super excited to hear from me. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day. The weather has gotten colder. I love cold weather. I love any reason to put on a sweater and some jogging pants and boots and all of the cute fashion that you get to wear during the winter during the colder months that you don't get to wear during the summer. So that has got me in a great mood. I woke up this morning, I made me some coffee, went outside, sat outside all cozy and snuggly on the rocking chair and looked at the plants and listened to the birds and just watched the world wake up and come alive, and it was just so amazing. So I am in a great, awesome mood today. Also did some yoga and meditating and all of the great things that helped me get, into a great space. And after that, I got a feeling, like I got a nudge from my intuition, prompting me to pull out my tarot decks and pull some cards. And I've talked about this before, but although I do work with tarot cards, I don't pull them daily, and I also don't consult them for others because my energy is very self-directed. So I find that whenever I need to pull cards for others, it's usually something that applies to me. So it kind of gets in the way, unless I'm really, really close with you. But this morning, I actually got a feeling that I should pull some cards, and then I got the feeling that I should share them. So I love to listen to my intuition, and if you are struggling listening to yours, I hope that you take this as a sign to start listening to your intuition more. But anyway, so I listened to my intuition, pulled two very beautiful cards. They align so much. I pulled one card from my Abraham Hicks Art of Allowing deck, and the other card from my Butterfly Oracle deck. And both of the cards have a lot of purple in them and orange. Both cards have a lot of purple and orange in them and red tones. And they both have something to do with our well-being and our health. So I want y'all to look up the spiritual significance of purple and orange. You know what? Let me just stop for a second, and I will actually look it up because I don't want to miss out on any information. So if you hear me typing, I'm looking up the spiritual meaning of the color purple and the spiritual meaning of the color orange. I'll do purple and orange since those are the colors that I saw first. All right. So yes, before I read those meanings, I'm going to read the actual cards. So the first card that I pulled, and my cards jump out at me. So I shuffle and I shuffle and I shuffle until a card jumps out. And this is the card that jumped out. And it actually didn't take very long at all for this card to jump out. So this card is from the Abraham Hicks Art of Allowing. I think it's called Art of Allowing. I might be lying. But anyway, this is from the Abraham Hicks deck. And it says, I am learning to allow well-being in. And then the back of the card says, the art of allowing is that I am that which I am, and I am pleased and joyful in it. And you are that which you are. And while you are different from that which I am, I can allow that, for it is also good. Okay, I'm going to say that again. This card says, I am that which I am, and I am pleased and joyful in it. And you are that which you are. And while you are different from that which I am, I can allow that, for it is also good. So I think that, to me, what's coming to me is that the purpose of this card is to let us know that that the experience of another person and how they feel and what they choose to believe does not have to affect how we feel and what we choose to believe. a lot of the times we blame other people for how we feel. We say that this person has made us mad, this person has made us, sad, this person has made us even happy, when in actuality, how we feel has nothing to do with another person, and it has everything to do with us. So if we are in situations or if we are experiencing situations to where we're allowing another person to make us feel a certain type of way, it is important for us to remember that we have the power to allow happiness inside of ourselves. So if someone isn't, quote unquote, making you happy right now, or if someone is engaging in some type of activity that bothers you, or that doesn't align with what you want in your life, remember that you are in control of your emotions, and that doesn't change the fact that what they are doing may not be affecting you in a positive way. Wait, let me reword that. Let me get my words together. I can feel like spirit moving through me, and it's making my words hard to come out. Anytime my words are having a hard time coming out, it's because I'm channeling, and I can literally feel the energy right now. So I'm going to take a pause and a deep breath and try to get this out as clearly as I can, so that whoever's listening can understand, and so that I can also understand, because I know that this is for me also, because I'm feeling some type of things right now. All right, so deep breath. So, although someone or something may not be going the way that you desire it to go, it may not be aligned with what you want and what you need at this moment, you do not have to let that drain you of your happiness. You can still be happy. You can still feel aligned. You can still feel abundance and love and all of the positive feelings that we need to feel in order to attract the experiences that we want to attract. You can still feel that way while also acknowledging what someone else is doing is not in alignment with the type of people that you want in your life. So you can acknowledge it without letting it bother your mood, if that makes sense. You can acknowledge that someone is being toxic, or that someone isn't treating you in the way that you want to be treated, without letting the way that person is treating you make you upset, or make you depressed, or make you lay down in your bed all day sad and in tears or whatever. You can acknowledge those things and still enjoy your life. Yes, that is what the card is trying to say. All right. Whew. It took a lot to get that out. All right, moving on to the next card. This card comes from the Butterfly Oracle deck for life changes. And this card says new exercise program. And I'm going to turn to I don't really have to read it out of the book because I know what this card means. So new exercise program is just focusing on our health. Focusing on implementing whatever we need to implement to make sure that our body is taken care of. So whether that is upping your yoga practice, taking up boxing, ballet, a dance class, whatever, going to the gym more consistently, meditating, whatever it is, changing our eating habits, our focus for this week should be on taking care of our bodies, our physical bodies, because this physical body is a gift. And many times we mistreat our physical body. We ignore our physical body and we don't give it what it needs. But this card is telling us that this week we need to focus on our physical body. So when I put these two cards together to work together, what I feel Spirit is trying to tell us for this week is there are going to be things that are going on with other people in our lives that are not going to make us happy. Those things are going to annoy us. They're going to bother us. They're going to be fishy to us. They're going to make us want to shut down, feel sad and depressed, and feel like giving up, But in actuality, what we need to do to bring us out of that place is focus on our physical body. Focus on a practice that makes us feel good. Focus on a practice that exercises our body and that takes care of this actual physical body. So for me, what I am going to implement this week, which I've kind of been doing for the past month anyway, but I'm going to just push even more, is more rigorous yoga practices. So instead of doing my 10-minute morning, 10-minute night, I think I'm going to move into like 20-minute and 30-minute practices and focus more of my energy onto this physical body. Because although we are spiritual beings, we still reside in a physical body, and we have to take care of this body. And what I'm receiving, what I'm downloading from my ancestors and from spirit and source is that if we focus on our physical body, it will help us manage those mental, emotional feelings that are going to come up from everyone else around us, from whatever is going on around us, whether that is an issue with a partner or issue with a family member or an issue with a friend. What is going to help us cope with those issues are our new exercise programs, are the new physical activities that we're going to engage in to increase our physical health. So I hope that is clear, and I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, that's okay. But if it does, then that means that it was also meant for you. So let's go into the meaning of these colors that I noticed and that I felt my intuition telling me that I should look up. So purple is associated with the sacred, the higher self, passion, third eye, fulfillment, and vitality. Purple helps align oneself with the whole of the universe. So again, like I said, we are spiritual beings, but we exist in the physical body. So these practices, these new exercise practices that we should be implementing this week is going to help us align with the universe. It's going to help us feel fulfilled and help us realign with passion in our higher selves. So don't underestimate the power of exercise. Don't underestimate the power of physical activity. So now we're looking into the color orange and what that means. So let's see. Orange speaks to youth, happiness, harvest, and hospitality. It speaks to love and benevolence. But since it is also taken as off-white, it can be the color of degradation or cowardice. It is symbolic of endurance and strength. Or orange is the color of fire and flame. It represents the red of passion tempered by the yellow of wisdom. Ooh, I like this because I see the word harvest, and we are moving into fall, and fall is the harvest season. So I feel like what the color orange is speaking to us is that we're about to go into a season of harvest. But before we get into harvesting, we're going to have to put in some work, which is where the fire and the flame and the passion comes in. And you have two choices. You can be a coward, or you can be a hero. You can be afraid, or you can show strength. And the choice is literally ours, because we create our experiences. We are God. We, create our life. So you have the choice. You can move into harvest with confidence, or you can move into harvest not sure and uneasy and scared. So yeah, that's what I got from the color orange. I will try to leave these meanings in the description box, so hopefully I don't forget to do that. Anyways, let's move into this actual episode, because that is exactly why we are here. So I said this morning, I already shared that this morning I had a lot of intuitive feelings going on. So originally I had this episode planned to be an episode about dating as a witch and tips for dating as a witch and how we need to be careful and all those things. But the moment after I pulled these two cards, I got the feeling in my gut that I should be talking about creativity, which is crazy because I haven't even, I have a list of potential topics and creativity is not one of them. So it's so crazy that that topic came to me this morning. So I know that we need to talk about it. So today's topic is creativity, or being a creator. So y'all already know I like this is blah 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 blah. Y'all already see, there I go, my words are it's hard to get my words out. I feel excited. I feel like a lot of prana inside of me and energy. So that means that this episode needs to happen. So I need to take another deep breath and ease into it so that I can communicate clearly and I can download whatever messages I need to download from Spirit. Okay, so we're taking another deep breath in. Okay, I'm going to try to speak slowly and clearly. So, y'all already know that I like to start with the definition. So we're going to go into the definition of creativity. So creativity is the use of the imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of an artistic work. So that is the definition from the internet, from Webster. But I just like to say that creativity is the desire inside of us to create. It is an energy that moves inside of us because of our spiritual connection to source or God or goddess or, whatever you want to call it. It is that same energy. It is the energy that led to the creation of us, to the creation of these trees, those butterflies, this earth, this universe, and so on. So I like to think of creativity as that God feeling. Creativity is God. It's the thing that makes us gods. It's the thing that separates us from a lot of other living beings on this earth. It's because we have the ability to create anything. We can literally create anything. So let's move into why creative is important on a more practical level. So creativity is a stress reliever. It's therapeutic. Life is full of so many responsibilities and stressors that we have to engage in. We have to work that job. We have to pay those bills. We have to take care of our families. We have to do certain things. And creativity, expressing ourselves creatively, is a great way to relieve stress. Creativity also improves our thinking. Creativity helps us think outside of the box. When we exercise those creative bones, we found out different ways to enjoy this experience. We find out answers to the problems that we're having. Even when we're expressing ourselves creatively in ways that doesn't have anything to do with life and the things that we're experiencing in life, we can find ourselves downloading answers, because when we're in a creative space, we are one with God and with Source and with infinite intelligence. So creativity is important because it allows us the freedom of expression. It gives us a sense of community, especially if you take up a creative class, like you go to a paint and sip, or you join a dance class, or you any type of class that you can go to with creative expression. It creates a sense of community. Like you connect with those people, because creativity is a vulnerable state. And it also connects us to our inner child. And the inner child is so very important, because many times our experiences in childhood weren't that great. Even if they were decent, even if they didn't include abuse and things like that, there are still things that happen in our childhood that may have, rubbed us a little wrong, because when we are children, we are more sensitive. So through creativity, we are able to create, we are able to connect to that inner child and heal some of the things that may have happened, or soothe some of the things that may have happened. So creativity is a tool for feeling fulfillment. Creativity leads to feeling fulfilled. So many of us struggle with the feeling of fulfillment. Like we always feel like something is missing, like something is off. Like you have the car, you have the job, you have the money, you have the family, but something feels off. And it's usually because we aren't expressing creativity. Art therapy is used for those who suffer from mental illness. Art therapy has been proven to help slowly regain the sense of self that many people who suffer from a mental illness experience. And that says a lot, because that also says that if art therapy, if creativity can heal those with mental illnesses, with diagnosed mental illnesses, imagine what it can do for us who aren't diagnosed, who don't experience mental illness to that extreme. If it can help them, it can definitely do wonders for us and probably prevent us from entering those type of states. Making things is inherently a human trait. Like I said, it's the thing that makes us little gods. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the thing that separates us from many other animals and many other living beings, is that we have the ability to create. The drive for creation is literally why we have every single thing that we have today. We have these clothes because someone decided to create clothes. We have shoes and hairstyles and movies and everything because of the desire to create. Creating is literally a human thing. And if you aren't feeding your creativity, you aren't feeding you're depriving yourself of being human, and being human, and to be human is to be God, if that makes sense. So creativity is not anything new. Self-healing through creativity has been present in so many different cultures worldwide and historically. Creativity is channeled through dances, chants, pictures, and stories as a part of healing rituals. You can find proof of this in so many of those traditional religions and traditional tribes. Is just the use of creativity. Creativity has always been here, and it should remain, and we should try to include it into our daily lives to help us grow as spiritual beings. Speaking of spiritual beings, it's important for me to try to always clarify why certain topics are important to our spiritual journey or to our witchiness. I feel like y'all be like, okay, sis, you talking about this, but this podcast is called the Black Witch Podcast. So what does creativity have to do with me being a witch, sis? I don't see it. I don't understand it. Well, that's okay, because I got you. Spirituality or witchiness is creativity. Spirituality is creativity. As much as we like to convince ourselves that what we believe is facts, the truth is that it is all imagination. And I'm not saying that as if it's a bad thing. Our beliefs being a part of imagination is not a bad thing. It is literally power. Everything that we experience today started off as imagination. Someone imagined living in a home and built a home. Someone imagined the car and built cars. Our spiritual beliefs being a product of our imagination doesn't negate or disempower our beliefs. It is actually where the strength comes from. So when I say that everything that we believe is a product of our imagination, that's not a negative thing. Like, that's a good thing. It means that there are no limits and that the possibilities are endless, because we allow our imagination to shape our beliefs. Now, with that being said, how can you expect to have a strong spiritual practice if you do not have a strong connection with your creativity, aka a strong connection with your creator? How can you be a creator if you never create? Like, it's just not gonna happen. Spirituality is creativity, and I hope that this speech, that this rant or whatever that I just went through helps you realize the connection between creativity and witchiness and our practices as witches or spiritual beings. So, how can you improve your spiritual practice using creativity? There are so many different ways. There's intuitive writing, intuitive drawing, singing, cooking up potions, etc. Just look into it and just stay open. Like, if you're unsure of how you can use creativity to improve your witchiness, just take some time to meditate on it and know that the answer may not come quickly, but you will find something, and do research and you will find something. But some of the ways that I use creativity to improve my witchiness is, one of the first ways is by creating my own spells. We all have an inner guidance system. And although there are spells and rituals that have been practiced for decades and have been proven to work by our ancestors, that doesn't mean that you become afraid to create your own thing. The point of magic, the point of being a magical being, the point of being spiritual, the point of being a witch is to live outside of the box. But so many of us get caught up in trying to follow the rules and regulations. And honestly, if that's what you want to do, you might as well just join a religion. Why be strictly spiritual if you want to follow rules and regulations? Just join a religion. That's okay if that's what you need. But if you are afraid to follow your intuition and to listen to your instincts and to do your own thing, then the free life of spirituality and witchiness is not for you. And that's okay. But I say all of that to say that creating your own spells and rituals is an amazing way to use creativity to connect and to improve your spirituality. I've done it a couple of times, maybe actually a lot of times. I have a hard time following directions. When I see directions or like layouts for spells and rituals, I follow as much as I can, but there's always a point in that process where I'm like, I'd rather do this than that, or let me tweak this to better fit and better suit who I am and where I'm from and what I believe. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is you practicing. That is me practicing being the creator, because that's what I am. I believe that I am a powerful witch. I believe that I am a powerful spiritual being. So that means that I have a connection with source, just like whoever came up with this spell does, whoever came up with this ritual does. And I have infinite wisdom just like everyone else does. So that means that sometimes, a lot of times, all the time, I have the ability to download something and improve a spell or ritual to better fit my needs. When you are going through the process of creating your own spell or ritual, be sure to write it down so that you can go back and look at it and you can do it again, and you can pass it on to like your kids, and your grandkids and stuff like that. Like, I have spells and rituals written down in my spell book that I cannot wait to pass down to my lineage, to my grandkids, to my kids, and just see how it works for them. That's just amazing. It feels good. And that is a way of creating. That is a way of exercising your creative bone. Another way to practice and improve your witch practice and your spiritual practice is to practice small, fun manifesting. Not everything we manifest has to be a car and a big house. And to be quite honest, majority of the things we manifest are the small things that we don't even notice. If you look around at your life right now, you will see so many things that you've manifested. We have so many thoughts throughout the day. It's hard to remember all of the things that we have thought, but every single thing that you think manifests in some kind of way. It can be something as small as, and this happens all the time. I hear people talk about all the time, and we just brush it off when it really is a big deal. You think about somebody, and then you get a call from that person, and you answer the phone, and you're like, girl, I was just thinking about you. That's literally not a coincidence. That is your magic. You just thought of that person and made them call you. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just did something magic just then. It can be something like, I remember the other day I was thinking about some ice cream. I really wanted some ice cream. And then about 30 minutes later, my grandma called me and wanted to go get some ice cream. And I was like, wow, would you look at that? Would you look at the way I manifested that? So it's as simple as that, like manifesting just small things. So try starting your day with a thought and with an intention, like, today I'm going to have a really interesting conversation with a stranger. And watch how later on in the day, when you aren't even thinking about it, or when you've forgotten that you even said it, you will have a very interesting conversation with a stranger. Or today I'm going to find a nice, good writing pen. And watch how you just look up and see a pen on the floor later on in the day or later on in the week, and it's a great pen and it's a perfect pen and you love that pen. Like little things like that are overlooked and unappreciated, but it's really fun, and it's really a great way to exercise your creativity muscle and to really see and understand that you are a creator. And the last thing that I have that I do is dance. I love using dance as a creative spiritual practice. And it's funny because I usually find myself doing the creative dancing during my period. And my period perfectly aligns with the new moon, as most of ours do as women. But sometimes it's a little off here and there. But mine literally aligns with the new moon, and I love it. And I worked hard to get it to be like that because I wanted it to connect with the moon. That's a whole nother conversation. Let me get back on topic. But anyway, during my period, I feel inclined to dance. So I'll light candles and incense and turn off all the lights and turn on some sensual music and just dance in my underwear, dance in the dark, and it's just so intoxicating. It's like I create this loving energy around me that just penetrates my heart and makes me feel so warm and special. It's a crazy feeling that I can't even fully explain, but the creativity just flows through me, and I can feel myself creating something in my life, and I can feel myself aligning with abundance and with love and with ideas and opportunities. Like I can literally feel that through my dance, I am conjuring up something. I am creating something. I am pulling things to me a little faster, and usually the week after my period and after all that dancing, all these things just start flooding in and coming into my life. And I always attribute it to that creative process of dancing. But those are the three things that I like to practice and that I like to use to improve my witchiness through creativity. But of course, there are things that you can do daily, like small things that you can do daily to improve your creativity. You can write something daily. I write something every day, even if it's just a line, randomly a line will come to me and I'll just write it on a piece of paper. Cooking is an amazing way to cultivate creativity. I hate cooking, to be honest, but whenever I have my own place in my own kitchen, I always feel drawn to cooking. And it's creative, because you start with nothing, then you end up with a plate full of food, So cooking is a way to cultivate your creativity. I already mentioned dancing. Getting off of the internet is a great way to cultivate your creativity. I'm going to say that again. Getting off of the internet is a great way to cultivate your creativity. I have specific times that I just go without being on social media the entire day, or specific points of the day that I'm just not on social media, just because social media, although it can be a place where we get ideas, it can also stifle our creativity because we're constantly looking at other people and what they're doing and wanting to do that or blah, blah, blah. Getting off the internet is a great way to cultivate creativity. Dressing up. So that means on a day that you feel like expressing yourself, but you can't really pinpoint how, putting on a really nice outfit that reflects who you are internally is a great way to cultivate that creativity. It's a great way to express yourself creatively. And another way that I really, really love is reorganizing. So I get these bursts of need to reorganize my space. And it's funny because whenever I do it afterwards, it's like I feel so much joy and so much happiness and so much alignment once I've reorganized. So I feel like reorganizing is another way to cultivate our creativity. Cultivating our creativity does not always have to be painting or drawing or singing or things like that, because I'm not a good drawer at all. I don't always feel like writing, even though I consider myself a writer. I do not always write. And sometimes it's just simple things that help us express that creativity. All right. And last but not least, because I've been talking for 35 minutes. My throat hurts. I'm sick of talking, but we're down to the last section. I guess I just had so much to say. And it's funny because, like I said, this is not what today's episode was supposed to be about, but yet here we are. So here are some signs that we need to express ourselves creatively. And the first sign is horniness. That feeling of like, oh my God, I want to have sex, is usually aligned to us really needing to create, because the act of sex is one of the ways that we are creators. It's the way that we create life. It's the way that we get an entire new being into this earth. It is the ultimate creation. So sometimes, many times, most of the times, when we feel that horniness and that desire to have sex, is actually a sign that we need to create. So that can be anything from doing a ritual, a spell, writing, painting, typing, whatever it is that we do creatively. We should probably try that first, instead of like texting the nigga who we actually don't need to be having sex with. Moving on. The second sign that we need to express creatively is a feeling of uneasiness, or like a built up tension. I know that this weekend I just kept having the need to do something, and I couldn't pinpoint what it is. And I knew it wasn't anything physical, because whenever I tried to get out of my bed, I didn't want to do it. But I tried to turn on the TV and watch TV. Nothing was interesting to me. I tried to read a book. Wasn't interested. And I just laid there and I'm like, yo, what is this feeling that I have inside of me? And it was the feeling of creativity. And what I needed to do was a ritual. What I needed to do was a spell. What I needed to do was light incense and just lay there and creatively visualize. Think about my future. Imagine the house I'm going to be moving into next year. Sometimes it's just a feeling that you have, a feeling of uneasiness that lets you know that you need to do something creative. Boredom, of course. If you're extremely bored, you probably need to create or cultivate your creativity in some type of way. Feeling like you have something to say, but not knowing what it is. Oftentimes, I feel the need to talk, but I don't have anything to say. And that's usually a sign that something is stirring inside of me and that I need to do something creative, or witchy, or spiritual in some type of way, like going to prayer or something like that, or going to meditation. Usually when I feel the need to talk, but I don't have anything to say, it's because I need to go into prayer and talk with my spirit or with my spiritual guides. And then the last thing that I have is a desire for solitude or aloneness. That desire to not be around other people is usually a sign that we need to go into a creative space. It means that we need to do something creative. And like I said, that can be something like painting, drawing, writing, but it can also be our spiritual practices, doing tarot cards, reading spiritual books, meditating, yoga, all those types of things too. The desire to be alone is usually a huge sign that we need to express creatively. But yeah, that was the last thing that I had on my notes that I needed to talk about. So we're going to end the episode here. Y'all already know how I get down. You can reach out to me anytime, any day at the Black Witch Podcast on Instagram. You can email the Black Witch Podcast. You can leave a comment here. And you can also submit questions anonymously using the link that will be found in the description box. I will also have articles linked below that I use to help me clarify the information that I wanted to share today. But a lot of the stuff that I shared was downloaded directly from source. So that's always a good thing. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I have actually enjoyed recording it, I don't think I have talked this long on an episode ever. Like, we're literally at 40 minutes. So yeah, I really enjoyed recording this, and I really feel like this information was needed. As we go into this week, remember the cards that I pulled earlier and talked about. I really, 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 truly feel like this is going to resonate with a lot of people. So yeah, just be careful. Start implementing more physical exercises this week, and be aware of the way that people are inspiring you to feel. They aren't making you feel anything, but some of their actions may make you want to feel a certain way. But remember that you have power, and that at the end of the day, you don't have to feel nothing that you don't want to feel. But that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys next week. Bye, witches.